Evening all. Right, we're trying a new concept today. This is called King of the Hill. Now, let me explain where maybe this comes from. We are we suck. Let's just get to the point, really. We keep losing our districts. Not really because we're crap at the game, but I think we're just so many people hit us. We couldn't always be on at all times, so annoyingly we're having to be like a small child in the playground with no friends. We're having to figure out our own little enjoyment to entertain ourselves. Now the concept behind this one is called King of the Hill. Now this is amazing fun. I mean, to be honest, it's probably what I think everybody should do anyway, to really instill a bit of team play. But basically this was 3 of us, and we decided that we would just go to a little bit of the map and we would just assume that this is our little king, our little hill, and we're going to be kings of it, and we're going to defend this little atoll or whatever. I think we ended up with this building, and whoever comes at us, we'll try and push them back. And it was rather fun, I must admit. We didn't care about the capture points. This is a very nice tactic on domination as well, but obviously with domination you need more than just 3 of you. But this is a really good fun, and as you can see, we're pimping our Duval tacticals. Yes, they are the fit of the month at the moment. They are good as well, so let's not forget that. They are very good guns, in fact. But the concept is just literally as that. So we had one person with a spawn pad, I had the ammo, and then we had somebody else with the revive, and that's really it. I mean, if we'd have had a Logi dude here, this could have been quite something epic. But I think really this is part of the game that I think a lot of people forget. Certainly when you do instant battles, not many people are playing as a group. So there we go. So anyway, as you can see, we're being assailed. Now, this confused me. A guy comes at us with a shotgun, then retreats. Don't quite get that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of very odd play going on with these maps, and I think this is kind of why we did this. Is just to kind of see maybe, you know, what the guns were like, what the players were like, and I think some maps this just would never work. But I was amazed how many people tried to come at us here, snipers, as you can see, and we rarely died as well. So it was a lovely tactic that I'd heartily recommend. It died a few times, obviously, just in terms of snipers, but the reality is that, yeah, they were throwing everything they could at us, and we were able to repel them. And, you know, we learned a lot from doing this as well. Certain fits, you know, if you do this, you don't need speed, for example. So if you do this kind of tactic, you could just brick tank. Having ammo was pretty much a key requirement, and then obviously having the spawn point as well was key. But I mean, I've got to admit, I was surprised actually how much fun this is. And if you think about it, this is something that you can really extend into something else. So these tall buildings around, one of the things we're going to do is get a group of forge gunners and just sit on top of that and repel any attempt to come get us. If we die, we'll revive. You know, it's all about how your staying power. Even if you die, it's not the end of the issue, because as long as you can be revived or respawn, then you're still king of the hill. And I love this kind of ability to get a point and then be assailed. I know domination is kind of, you know, this thing, but I think domination maps are just a rejig of the skirmish map. You know, to me, domination should be something where maybe one side starts with the point already, and it's a very defendable point. Maybe it is even like a fortress or something, and then the attackers have to actually fight their way in. You know, domination map is a good starter for 10. It's not really, I think, anything more than just a single pointed skirmish. So, you know, there is still, I think, a bit more work needed. I just think a particularly tailor-made map, maybe where the attackers are on top of a hill, the defenders have to get up there, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But I think, you know, that kind of scenario would be quite nice. I think at the moment there aren't actually that many maps, and I know a lot of them are procedurally generated, as they say. But the reality is that there's only really 3-4 maps, maybe 5. And they just have a different, flavor, so different style of building, different style of this and that. And after a while, I think there's not much more you can do with them. So I think there's something quite nice about having this kind of, you know, just changing it up, not trying to run around capturing points all the time. You know, in ambush you could do something quite different to this style as well. Very, very applicable in ambush as well, obviously. But I think this is it. It's just about, right, that's the point we're going to go to. We're going to sit there and we're going to camp it. And I think the beauty of doing this, particularly in a skirmish, is you do kind of catch people in a crossfire. So here you can see obviously they're trying to take an objective, and we're then obviously, you know, kind of high up, you know, on the flanks almost, shooting them from the side, and that's really nice. I think in ambush you don't really get this. It's just wherever the person is, you run at them. And I think Dust kind of needs this, because at the moment it does just feel like Quake. Or yeah, Quake 3 particularly, and it doesn't feel particularly like you know, a kind of tactical shooter. So this is just, you know, it's a little bit of player drama brought in just to kind of get a different feel from the game. And I think this was, again, I'm only showing it because in terms of tactics, firstly, this is a great way to build squad play, because everybody has a role. So, you know, somebody has to keep a spawn point down, somebody has to keep putting ammo down, and you know, you do all you can to keep your role you know, alive, if you like. And I like that. I think this is more than just run and gun, which again I think we're still quite guilty of. I think most people are guilty of, is that this game does become a game of solo individuals who maybe run together, and it doesn't become literally a full team game. Just, you know, not in all cases. We've seen some really good you know, squad play in the PC battles, but I think this is just a way to maybe draw something further out. I think also in terms of the way that the maps are currently as well, I think, you know, there is always a nice thing to say, it doesn't matter who wins or loses, because let's face it, there is no real issue who wins or loses. You all get the same ISK and skill points as far as we're aware. And as far as I can work out, you know, the only thing is just that marker to say how many, you know, wins and losses you've had. But again, what does that mean? You know, in the grand scheme of things, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a few battles where you say, I don't mind losing. Let's actually have a game where we get our KD ratio up. Do you know what I mean? And I think this was a good one, because all we were interested in was almost kind of just waving a big flag and saying, come at us, and they did. And it was really good. It was a real test of skill, actually, to repel them in every way that they came at us. So, you know, I mean, obviously if we'd have had a team with scout LAVs or logistics LAVs, that would have been harder to you know, to get rid of them. But again, this is maybe where you pick somewhere that the LAV can't get to. This is maybe where you pick something that's highly defendable. This position, as we have here, is phenomenally defendable, and that's obviously why we did it. I think you know, every single map has one of these. I think if you want to get up on top of one of the tall buildings and do like our forge gun thing, you'll have a blast, because people will bring dropships to try and get at you. You'll be able just to shoot down. You know, the only issue you'll have is ammo. But if you just have a team member who can literally spawn in, drop ammo, drop down, fight, and then die again and rinse repeat, you'll have a blast. So anyway, give it a go. I think it's highly worth doing. I think there is a lot of drudgery in this game lately, so I would highly recommend that you give it a go. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll certainly do some more of these kind of mini sort of player-driven games next time.